Good morning. It is 9/11. Today is Money Monday. And when you think of the American dream, what do you think of? Do you think of owning a nice house and a car? Or do you think more about being able to get away for a weekend or perhaps developing a nice little side hustle?
Well, your answer might depend on your generation or your age. Joining us today to explain the differences and why we're seeing them is Beth Perro-Jarvis and Mary Van Note from Ginger Consulting. Good morning, you guys.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here.
Sure.
Yeah. So the American dream has a lot of different definitions depending on who you are.
Right.
Okay,
right.
so tell us about that.
Yeah, so a lot of people do what you just did, which is define the American dream in terms of what you bought. So you bought a home, you bought education for your kids, you bought a car, you have money in your retirement accounts. But actually, and if you think about it that way, it can be kind of scary, because if you total up all the costs of what you might have bought, if you bought all of that in 1 year, it would cost you like $5 million now. So that makes everybody sad, right? And they're like, oh, well, only older people are going to be able to have the American dream. But actually, if you really think about it, the American dream is an idea. It's certain values. It's the value of having opportunity, of having personal freedom, of having upward mobility. And so those ideas can be defined in different ways, right? And so younger Americans are kind of defining those in different ways. So they're still going to be working on their dream and getting their dream, but it just might show up in terms of examples a little bit differently than older people.
Mm-hmm. So there's kind of, if you take a look at the numbers and you sort of compare where the older generation and the younger generation is at, there is a pretty big contrast there.
Yeah, I mean, they are living literally on different financial planets. Even if these two groups, like let's say the group that's in their 30s and 40s versus their 50s and 60s, even if they're making the same paycheck, let's say it's just an average middle income of about $70,000 to $90,000 a year, their financial realities are vastly different. So if you think about that older group that's starting to kind of maybe think about retirement, landing that plane, they bought their homes, their cars, their educations at yesterday's prices. They have retirement accounts that have had literally decades to compound. They're not carrying the student loans anymore. They're sitting pretty comfortably. So they're starting to do the regular week-long vacations, maybe starting to host the bigger family gatherings, taking the bigger trips, leaving work early to play a round of golf. They mostly have, at this stage, that same average person would have a net worth of about $365,000 if you factor in their house and their car and maybe the retirement account that they have. So they would say, well, I'm not rich, but I'm feeling some real breathing room to be able to enjoy some of the nicer things in life. By contrast, if you look at the group in their 30s and 40s, even if they're making the same paycheck, say $70,000 to $90,000 a year, their net worth is $83,000, so a quarter of that group. And they would say, I'm okay, but there's just not a lot of, kind of leeway in my financial world. They, are staring down debt. They're still paying off those student loans, right? They might be carrying a balance on average of $45,000 in the student loans. They're more likely to be renting, or maybe in a starter home, because for them, housing is 50% more than it was for our older group at the same age. So, they're struggling a little bit more, but, trying to get by, still trying to enjoy maybe the weekend trips, paying for a vacation with points instead of cash, just hanging out with friends, making an Instagram recipe, things like that. So they're just dealing with a different financial reality.
Well, it's interesting. I think about like my parents' generation. We always were save a percentage of your paycheck. And this younger generation, they're probably not able, they don't have the luxury of being able to save the way that maybe we were able to, or generations before us were able to.
Yeah, their economic headwinds are much fiercer than what anyone that's 50 plus has faced, for sure.
Yeah.
But and because of that, they're sort of like living their life in a different way, right? They're not valuing having money in the bank, because the expectation is I'm not going to have any money anyway, right? So
a little bit.
I'm going to spend what money I do have on experiences, and that's a big shift.
Yeah, definitely. So then if you split the market under 45 to over 45, so come on with us in the over 45 camp. I'm not saying we're old, we're over 45. So if those people, the over 45s, are doing the traditional deal that we know about, and they have learned, like you said, delayed gratification has been their strategy forever. That's what they were told. So you work and scrimp and save and work and whatever, and then boom, you're retired, and yay, everything's supposed to be hunky-dory and perfect. So it's like a light switch that goes on and off. And everything they've invested in has been long-term. they have a 30-year mortgage. They have a family dog for 15 years. They take the kids to 22, and so it's all been long term. And even if you ask those people over 45, what's the most important thing in retirement? So Gallup actually asked people that. And 72% of those over 45 said owning a home. Owning a home is the most important thing. Well, there are other aspects of the American dream. Personal freedom is really important. Only 28% of them thought personal freedom was all that important. So they're all about stability in their American dream. That's their thing. And it's also important to note that even though there's a lot of positive press over this traditional version of the American dream, not everybody gets there. You work and work and work, and sometimes you can get derailed. Some people, we all know them, they got laid off in their 50s. They have kids boomeranged in the basement. They had a health crisis. So it's worked out for a lot of people, but it doesn't necessarily work out for everyone. So it's not universally positive.
You kind of wonder if I'm seeing this with sort of I have a child who's about to graduate from college, and I'm sort of seeing what his expectations are of owning a home, and it's just so much different. And then you wonder if it's going to just sort of stay that way for them, and they're never really going to get to the same sort of American dream that the older generations thought of.
You are so right. It absolutely looks vastly different if you're under 45 years old. They're not dreaming about stuff and this destination island called retirement. They are about freedom. They're about sort of momentum and mobility and doing interesting things, to your point. It's less about gathering a lot of hard goods and more about gathering a lot of cool experiences, right? And, part of this comes from the place that they just don't hold that sort of traditional belief that one job, one company, one steady climb is actually going to even lead them to a comfortable retirement. They really have very grave affordability concerns. And so what they've learned to do is adapt their thinking, adapt their values to a new reality. So for them, they don't want the 30-year mortgage and all those trimmings and trappings and frankly expense that comes with home ownership. They may not want children. We know that our population decline is real. They may just not want them because they want to do other cool things, but they also might say, I just can't afford it. In today's dollars, to raise a child from birth through college is close to $500,000. So as opposed to maybe their parents' generation, they're leaning hard into the freedom side of it. And if you go back to that same sort of Gallup poll, it would tell you that if you're under 45, you are far less likely to say that owning a home is part of the American dream. And you are more likely to say it's this personal freedom to go out and have the agency to sort of do what I want, have some interesting experiences, maybe change companies so I can make more money, maybe change careers midstream so I can do something more interesting. They just have a different value system.
So it's interesting, though. I'm wondering if this is a mindset shift, or if once they get a little older, their American dream will change. Will they want the house? Will they want the retirement?
Right.
Will they
part
want
of
the
it
white
is
picket
over
fence?
45 people are more into stability, and people younger into momentum. Yes, but I think that they have noticed that the future is not promised to them, and so they might want to enjoy themselves. And they saw their parents not having that, scrimping savings, and did they get where they wanted? And and now they're also looking at longevity and healthcare concerns, and are their parents going to have that promised land retirement? Might as well enjoy themselves a little now.
Go to Costa Rica now, have a mini retirement when you're 40.
Part of this is that they've been beat over their heads since they've been growing up, the younger generation, that they don't think they can afford a house, or they don't, or AI is going to take their jobs. And so you almost kind of wonder, if that's not just push them in a mindset that pushed them in that direction in the first place. If you're just being told over and over again that you can't do these things.
You are, but also the interest rate on mortgages is 6.66% as of this week.
Well, I have a realtor who will give us a good scolding, and he'll say if you compare them historically, the interest rates it's not as bad as it's portrayed.
That's true, but housing prices are higher.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
And hey, if I own a home, then I can't just next month move to Denver, which I might want to do if I'm 37.
They're kind of, are they making lemonade out of lemons? Maybe they are.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, we could probably all borrow a little bit from one another. They have some really brilliant ideas. I love the idea of going to Costa Rica tomorrow. Let's do it.
Let's take the show there right now.
They're rewriting the rules, and I would say we have a very optimistic read on them. I think they've been an incredibly adaptable generation, and they'll continue to be. We have a lot of high hopes for them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thanks, you guys, for stopping by. Good to see you.
Thank
really
you.
interesting.
Fun conversation.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you very much. And you can subscribe to Retail News from Mary and Beth on their website. We posted a link at minnesotalive.com.